right, so let's talk about the Los Angeles Chargers here for a little bit. Look, it seems like people are forgetting about the Chargers. You don't hear a whole lot about them, but they've got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, maybe the best guy in Justin Herbert. This is a stacked team, and granted, a stacked AFC, and they're looking to make a big push this season. In order to make a big push, they're going to have to rely on some of their supporting cast, however, to overcome that really difficult division and really difficult AFC. But before we get into that, look, Chargers fans, you guys have a totally unfair reputation. There's talk about Chargers fans not showing up to games, not showing up to practices. I don't believe that for a second. I know a lot of Chargers fans. You guys are awesome. So let us know in the comments section below, what games are you planning on attending this season? Whether it's a home Chargers game, road Chargers game, let us know. We want to hear it. But Myers, what's the latest out of LA?
Yeah, Nick, and who wouldn't want to go to that beautiful stadium that the Chargers just
Absolutely.
got?
Ooh.
SoFi is incredible, so I'm sure they're going to be going to all kinds of games this season, just like the Chargers are going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff in SoFi this year. It's going to be a sight to see. And a guy that kind of snuck under the radar last year, he had a slow start, is none other than Josh Palmer. And I think this is a guy, a second-year guy, who's really primed for a big breakout season. And like I said, last year he started out pretty slow. He didn't really do too much. But coming into the week 14 is really when things started to pick up. And that's when Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler kind of went down, and they had to shift the offense around a little bit. In that game in week 14, Palmer got 5 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. And then the last 3 games or so, he got 3 touchdowns. So it really started to heat up for Palmer. And he started to kind of build that trust with Herbert, who's an amazing young quarterback. And earning the trust of a quarterback is the first step to getting a little bit more targets. But now that Palmer built the trust last year, he's come into camp and everyone's kind of seen, like this guy knows how to play a little bit and his confidence is building and the team's confidence in him is also building. I think this is a really interesting guy, kind of like a breakout alert, a guy to watch during training camp. So what do you think, Nick? Do you think Palmer is primed for a breakout season in year 2?
Yeah, I think he's going to have a huge season, and here's why. So we saw it last year with a team like the Kansas City Chiefs that relied a lot on big plays, and the Chargers are kind of that similar kind of dynamic, especially when you look at Herbert's massive arm. What defense do teams start shifting to, right? They do that two deep safeties. They force everything underneath. They force you to make contested catches in tight traffic and tight quarters. And that's exactly what Josh Palmer's strength is. He has all the physical tools. He uses his body very well. He's 6'2", 210, so he's got good size. He knows how to position himself well. He's got good hands. And like you said, towards the end of the season last year, he started to come on strong. And then you know what they always say? You make the biggest leap as a player in the NFL from year 1 to year 2. And I think Palmer's a perfect candidate for that. And to be totally honest, you look at the Chargers receiving core, they're a good core, but they're also a little bit older. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, they're getting up there a little bit. So they're kind of looking for some young blood. And I know Palmer's competing with guys like Jalen Guyton for targets and playing time. But I think Palmer's in a great position to come out and have a big impact this season.
We love stats on this show, Nick, so I'm going to throw a couple stats at you, all right? What if I told you passer rating when targeted for Palmer, 107? That's pretty nice.
Really good.
Yards per catch or yards per reception, 10.7, almost 11. 11's that pretty good range we like to see a good receiver at. But this is another one. Only 1 drop last year. So, he had 33 catches on 45 targets, only 1 drop. So he had some volume, and I think that's where this trust is coming from. He's a good route runner, has good hands, and you're not dropping balls. They're going to keep coming back to you over and over again. So I think in the stats department, Palmer is doing all of the right stuff. And like you said, the biggest jump is from year 1 to year 2. And I think Palmer is a guy who's able to make a pretty big jump this season and put himself out there as a candidate for when you move on from a guy like Keenan Allen, they're not moving on from Mike Williams anytime soon, but when those spots open up, he's going to try to put himself in line to be the next guy for the Chargers.
Well, yeah, especially when you look at how teams are going to have to play in that division. Because look, every offense in that division is stacked essentially. And fortunately for the Chargers, unfortunately for the Broncos, Tim Patrick, receiver, went down with a pretty big injury. But outside of that, the division is stacked with playmakers on all 4 teams are just absolutely loaded. And teams are defensively going to have to decide to take away certain players. And you see teams when they play the Chargers, they're going to say, look, we can't let Mike Williams beat us. We can't let Keenan Allen just beat us with his route running ability. And they're going to allow Josh Palmer very favorable one-on-one matchups. They're going to stick to those two deep zones, two deep looks, and say, hey, look, Josh Palmer, if he can beat our number 3 corner and make tough contested catches, we're just going to have to live with that. And I think that's Palmer's game. And I think that's what the Chargers are looking to do. And I think you can have a big impact for that. And that's going to be a big difference in some of these close division games against the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Broncos, that the Chargers weren't able to win, namely the losses to the Chiefs and the Raiders at the end of last season. And Palmer, if he just takes a little bit step in the right direction, which I think he will, he's got the talent to do so, could make all the difference for the Chargers as this time they make the playoffs and win those big games.
All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.